Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good night. I hope that you're doing well, and I hope that wherever you are is doing good for you. It's me, it's Paul Carpenter. I am getting ready to do this live stream for you folks. I am going to I'm going to kick it up a notch today. I'm getting some things settled here before we fully go into ravage mode. But today we are talking about was Hitler right? I know I'm saying some crazy stuff by saying that, but I really want you to go down this journey with me, and you can see that I'm in no way, shape, or form endorsing uh, an absolute insane human being. What I am doing, on the other hand, is attempting to um, be as honest and real, and and really more so than anything else, get down to the deep nitty gritty of uh, asking a question that nobody wants to even hear out loud. Because people freak out when they hear the name, first of all, which is understood. But um, the the ready, okay. Sorry, I was trying to do some things here in the background while I was trying to also do the intro. Again, what we're talking about here is one of, if not the most hated man of all time. There's this thing when we start talking about Jewish people, and because of all of the psychology, emotion, religion that goes behind this people, um, it becomes this very weird thing. Um, I think more so than anything else, it's because when you're in the three major religions of the world, you see that the Jews supposedly started all from God's word, from God's creation. And so it makes these people very mythical, very very magical in some way. So what I plan on doing today is going through here and trying to cover things like the origins of why people don't like to ask this question, which is I'm trying to do now. Propaganda, myth, and manipulation, and how Hitler controlled people's minds. What Hitler got right, according to historians, like strategies, psychology, economics, and why it's not the same as endorsing him, because it's not what I'm intending to do here. If you read the book, which I have linked into the description for free, you will understand more. But the catastrophic wrongs of genocide, of the idea of even fascism, of what, from all that we know, what that kind of encompassing evil is. Why people romanticize the whole concept, or even say that it never existed, or find ways to diminish the numbers, or find ways to point fingers of blame. This isn't, it's just understanding that people do that, and why do they do that. Then I'm going to try and do some comparisons on what's happening in the world today, and what's driving that force. And then in the end, I hope that we can share the idea of my book a little bit instead of having people reach out to me and tell me that you know it's not real, and that I'm creating all kinds of negativity in the world by asking such a question, um, and that it's all bad. It's all bad news if I do stuff like that. And really, it's not, because, as I said in the beginning of this whole thing, I'm doing this as a way to um, show the world what's really going on, express to people who may not be aware, or the people who are too busy to not be able to get what they wanted, as far as information is concerned. And this way, um, I could share that. You know what I mean? That's the idea. That's the overall idea. Um, I'm lucky enough in my life that I have, in some way, been given the gift of not having to have like a normal day job, and so because of that, I I have spent many years learning about all these different things. So um, I've been able to go down the rabbit holes you can't. And because of that, I feel that I have something to offer you, something to share with you. And the question of the day is, was Hitler right? And the answer is equivocally no. He was not right. But he fell into some very right answers along the way. And, and that is that, on some level, the modern world, the way that we're living, has destroyed us, has it starts to homogenize us in a way that we all look the same, we all dress the same, and what happens, because of the elasticity of human uh, social consciousness, when you pull too hard one direction or you pull too hard the other direction, it always snaps back. It might move forward a little bit, almost like a worm, like, right? It can do that. And there's ways, and people who have talked about it, about how to manipulate that movement forward in any one direction, X, Y, Z, um, positive or negative, right? And so, because in the end, that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about how you change the mindset of what is okay and what is not okay in moral standings. So, in other words, um, it would be something to the effect of uh, something to the effect of I lost my train of thought. Damn it. Um, how you get people to go in a certain direction that you want them to go in, but as a mass, and how you, once you have more than 50% of a person doing something for a certain cause, it changes the direction of this movement of space, whether it's backwards, forwards, up, down, left, right, as I was saying, X, Y, or Z. And you could consider a plane of line of existence as being nominal, 0, 0, and just traveling straight, and then maybe going backwards in time, which isn't the right thing to do, or pushing too far into the future. Now, all of this comes to the idea that there are people who have been around in the world that have talked about this already, that have said, hey, uh, you know, um, this 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 idea is something that we should do, and people follow it, whether it's a religious idea, whether it's a world taking over conceptual idea, and that could be by mind or by body or by land. And so, what I'm trying to get at here is that there's many people along the lines that showed how manipulation was A, easy, and B, a lot of people just follow suit. Then you can also see on a scale of humanity, like what is a normal IQ and then what is far beyond normal and what is under normal. And it's around 70 IQ if you look at the whole mass of humanity, right? So it's not like we're the smartest things ever. We already have AI out there that's doing stuff at the speed of 130 IQ, equivalent kind of idea. And so what I'm getting at here is first we need to kind of understand the ideology of Hitler and what he was really trying to do and what Mein Kampf was about. And on many levels, it really was about how he understood that people really liked being individual and that they had to have some kind of meaning, because living in a cardboard box, just like the song, tiny boxes, little, you know what I mean? And so that same idea is where he was coming from. And he was saying that having a central bank was crazy on some level, like no taxes, and it's this very socialism idea, which rears its head very quickly into the fascism states, and that's been shown over and over and over again. You know, I don't think there is any one socialist that fascistic country that ever worked, right? That works for a long period of time. I mean, there's a couple out there, but still, we all see them as crazy. We all see that as like that, you know, like this very weird way to live and think about for those who are living in a first world country who have quote unquote freedoms and can do whatever they want, right? So on many levels, he had this idea, right? And then he goes deeper down that hole and he starts to talk about eugenics and the cleansing of humanity. And his way of doing this was to just go ahead and destroy all humans that he doesn't like, because that's easy. Just, you know, throw a couple bullets into the person. That's fun. We can do that a lot. And that turned it into some kind of like blood cult, right? Where there's a story from Van Halen, I believe. Is it Van Halen? I think it's Van Halen. Doesn't really matter. There's a story of a lead singer who, before he became famous, he worked in a tannery, and it's, you know, taking the skins off of animals, and there's these chemicals and they smell, and it's just a horrible experience. And this happens many times with lots of people, by the way, in all different types of jobs, where when you see death a lot, you start to have a dark style of humor that other people just don't understand. And that's what's happening. You know, like if it and that, I think that's what happened with what happened in Germany. It becomes something that you laugh at, something that you don't even recognize as pain anymore. You're drunk on the stream of enforcement and ownership of others and feeling that you're better than. There's a whole thing there. And this is what my book is about, right? Because then you start to piece together what's happening in today's world. You piece together these ideas that show many of those ideals have started to kind of show up all of a sudden. That's kind of scary. Kind of scary. Because you see that in the CRISPR mRNA, they're trying to now create new genes, fixing your TGCAs, changing the code, and being able to, in essence, cure all diseases, and no more blind people, and no more, deaf people, and possibly even like get into the area of lizards and be able to just make arms appear because the genetic code. I know that sounds a little crazy. So a lot of the same ideas that we were just talking about seem like they're coming up everywhere. And it seems as though you can see that kind of being the same thing. And then the sense of like being in your home and like knocking on the door, breaking it down. I think just recently, Amazon had to pay $98 million, which I think equaled about $200 per phone, to people who were surveilled on their phone without their permission. And so, when everybody was being called a conspiracy theory nut, they can't do that. There's no way. What are you talking about? They can't do that to you. And then all of a sudden you see like, yeah, they can. And so there's this thing called AI that I talk about a lot. And in many ways, it's just a machine, right? Even though it will feign the idea of having emotions at one point or another, and it will make it seem so real that we can't tell, which has already happened, by the way. Stanford experiments did chats with people, and 73% of the time, the large language model would win, and the human being would be like, I was talking to a robot? Really? They can do that already? So it's only going to take a matter of time before the voices sound so good that you can't tell. And it's only a matter of time from there that these videos are the way I'm making it right now. Stream of consciousness style videos made by an AI. How do you know this is an AI? I mean, there's a green screen behind me right now. I mean, everything that's being made could be made with AI in a couple seconds. Even the faces. So my point being here is that these machines don't think. It's just ones and zeros for them. And, your DNA, believe it or not, is a form of memory keeping space. If you have 4 letters, you do +1, -1, +0, -0. So now you have 4 placements instead of 2. So you could save a lot of memory. I think it's already been done. People are using the DNA to soak up memories or books and all kinds of stuff. So it's already happening. I'm just talking here, but I mean, think about it. So this is why I wrote the book. The reason I wrote the book was because Kanye put out a song recently, and it's called Heil Hitler. And it's I think I understand artistically where he's coming from when he wrote it. And he has a bunch of black guys in these, like, I don't know, I'd call it caveman style clothing, in which they are saying the word Heil Hitler, the N word. So it's pretty intense. And give me 1 second here. So it's a little crazy is all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So let me just send this person, because they called me in the middle of it. And I'm going to just send them a message and be like, yo, I'm live right now talking about the book. So that was one of the main reasons that I did that. I was it was this physical reaction that happened to me in the middle of the night that literally I felt it in the pit of my gut. And then when I woke up the next morning, I immediately started writing, like I do all the books, like a stream of consciousness, idea, thought that I'm just trying to express to the world. And then I put it out there a couple days ago, about 3 days ago, and of course the cover, the idea, this cover is intense. You know what I mean? This cover is intense. Showing the swastika, showing this concept. It's not easy. I get it, but what's it about? What's it really all about? It's really talking about how transhumanism in itself is eugenics. The control of the body, the control of every part of you is nanotechnology. The idea of saying, bust through your door and have control over you, that's already been done. They gave you the phones and you took them. So each step was almost an identical step to that of what Hitler's ideologies are. And so this is the book. Please, if you want to read a copy, there is a link down below, and you can do that and find out more about how the being of original and being out of nowhere, right? Just doing your own thing, being spontaneous is the thing that the code can't deal with. It's the real part of our human nature. Read the book, please. Please read the book. And with that, my friends, I want to say, number one, please go out into the world, do something nice for somebody else today. And if you can't, do something nice for yourself. It does start with you, because you are the key to the whole thing. What you think, you believe, you perceive. You know what I mean? Number two, don't get into all the crazy things and this, that, the other. All over. You're just freaking out. And it's not going to help you, me, or anybody else going down rabbit holes that make no sense. I'll do it for you. We can talk about it. And number three, if you would not mind, please like, share, subscribe, send this out to somebody who needs to see it. Please read the book, share an idea, give a comment down below. Tell me what you think. God, this was crap. You're crazy. How could you write this? You're Jewish. Whatever you want to write. And with that, my friends, I thank you all very much from the bottom of my heart. And I will see you all. Wait, where is it? Where is it? Right there on the other side. We'll see you later.